Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Canadian Retro. I have another pickups video for you here. Some pretty good stuff, I think. I picked up a ton of systems just today while I was out thrifting, but I'll start with my eBay purchases first. I don't usually like to shop too much on eBay. It's too pricey, and with shipping it just makes it not really worthwhile. But I did pick up a few items recently for reasonable prices. The first one here is Load Runner for the NES. Unfortunately, this one here has some label wear. I can't recall exactly how much I paid for this, but I will check it when I do my editing here, and I will post it up like I usually do above. Really cool game though. I was checking out some footage of it earlier on this evening, so really happy to add that one into my collection. The next one is a PlayStation title, and I really like adding these kind of PlayStation titles into my collection. They're the sort of retro remakes, so they took stuff basically from the 80s, and in the late 90s they started making like updated versions of them, and this is one of those games which I also already have for the Sega Dreamcast, but I thought I'd pick it up for PlayStation as well, and it's Centipede. And this one here is in really good shape. So I thought I would pick up Centipede. It's really cool, like you're in this little ship and you kind of have like a 3D sort of perspective like out in front of you, first person kind of idea. Well, it's more like third person I guess, but it's like over the shoulder third person. Really cool though. You're playing Centipede, but you're like right there in the action. It's so cool, and you can kind of turn your ship around and you can like shoot behind you and move around all over the place. It's really kind of cool. I did check this out emulation wise a little while back, so I wanted to see if it was a good title, and I'm glad I did, because I definitely was excited to pick this one up. The next one that I picked up was a Sega Dreamcast title, and I really like to be able to add Dreamcast titles into my collection right over my shoulder basically, and I'll stand up here and show you the extent of my Dreamcast collection, because it's really small. It only consists of these games right here. So I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. This is my 9th Sega Dreamcast game, but really happy to add this one in. I can't remember what I paid for Ready to Rumble Boxing, but pretty excited about it. I do remember playing this on PlayStation. Disc is in good shape. I do remember playing this on PlayStation, so I'm imagining this one will have a little bit better graphics and things like that, and it was a really fun time on the PlayStation, so going to be a really fun time on the Dreamcast as well. Those are all my eBay purchases, but I have a whole ton more stuff to show you as well. One of the places I stopped earlier on this week was a pawn shop that I usually frequent. Now, sometimes I buy a few items from there, but I find that their prices are basically on par, and I kind of like to get a deal. Like, it's good if you want to pay the actual price to it, but I'm sort of like I like to get a deal. So these ones here actually ended up being a deal, so I'm happy to have picked them up. The first one that I wanted to show you, actually, I don't know how rare this game is. I've never seen this before. It isn't really something that necessarily interests me, but I found it interesting when I saw it in the store just because I'd never seen it before, so I thought I would pick it up for the price, and it's Gallop Racer. And for this one here I paid $3, so I thought I would pick it up. I did check this price earlier on just because I had no clue about this game at all, and it turns out that I made a wise decision. You can see that from the price that I'll post up above. The next one that I picked up from there, also for $3, is Crash Team Racing, and I did not have this one in my collection. This one is a the greatest hits kind of one. I've said it before and I'll say it again though, I don't care if things are greatest hits as long as I've got the game, I'm good to go. I don't find it to be as obnoxious as other people, so I have greatest hits, and Black Label games doesn't bother me. This one's in pretty decent shape too, not too bad. Most of that is just finger smudging if you can see anything on there, but $3, Crash Team Racing, super cool kart racer. Excited to add that one in as well. It just keeps coming actually. So those were sort of my not thrift pickups. These are all the things that I had before today. The rest of the stuff that I'll show you I actually picked up today. It was half price day at Goodwill, and I went a bit nuts with it. So I'll show you that. What I'll start with though is not the stuff from the Goodwill. I'll start with actually two titles that I picked up from a Value Village. They're a bit overpriced from what I usually like to pay for it, but I thought I would pick them up anyways. The first one is Pac-Man World 3. I didn't realize that at the time I'm getting to that extent of my collection that I'm getting to the point of my collection where sometimes I forget if I have a title or not. So I actually had this title already and didn't realize it when I picked it up, but not too bad. It's still worth what I paid for it. So it's missing its manual though. Not a big deal, but the disc is in pretty good shape. It just needs to be cleaned. So I'll just end up selling that off probably later on. I think probably the one that I have is in better condition, but I'll definitely make a comparison and just to see. Yeah, so for that one there I paid $6. The next one that I also paid $6 for is a game, and as a collector of video games, kind of embarrassed to say that I didn't have this one in my collection. I didn't own this one originally for the Xbox, even though it was like probably the most hyped game. It's, you know, a launch title, I believe, for the Xbox, and it's Halo Combat Evolved. I never actually had this. I've played Halo 2, I played a lot of Halo 2. I never played Halo 1. So pretty excited to get Halo into my collection. Now I can feel like I am a true Xbox collector by having this game. The next titles I picked up from a Goodwill. Actually, I picked up a whole bunch of systems and some video games. I'll show you the games first and then I'll get into the systems. The first game that I picked up that I want to show you is a sports title. I don't usually pick these up, but I thought I would. For $3 I picked up Madden 2003. Not super excited about football games necessarily, but you know, it is what it is. So I thought I would pick it up. The disc is in great shape. So there we go, Madden 2003 for $3. When I first walked into the store, this was in their glass case. It's in really nice shape actually for the most part, and it's a copy of Tomb Raider 2. And this one also is priced at $3, so pretty good price I guess for this game. And the disc itself is in almost perfect condition. So I already have this game, but I think this one might end up replacing that. I'm not totally certain, but this one's super clean, so I'll probably end up doing that. So like again, I paid, or like I said before, paid $3 for that one. The next game I already have in my collection, and it's definitely in better condition. I just couldn't leave it there for the price, and it's Blasto for PlayStation 1, and it was $3 as well. This is the second time that I've actually picked this up. It was in one of my sort of older videos, but the disc is fairly scratched up, so I'll have to see if I can actually get this one to play. But pretty cool game, and for $3 I thought, you know, that I would go for it. I definitely need like the PlayStation cases and stuff like that, so if worse comes to worse, at least I have the artwork and stuff like that. The only problem with the manual is that it's actually not the manual. This is just the front cover of the manual. So it looks like the video place or whatever just ripped the manuals out of them and only put the cover in there, which is really kind of a strange thing to do, but it is what it is. The next one is a game that I already have in my collection. Everybody should. It's always dirt cheap wherever you find it, and you find it a lot. I see this game all over the place, like pretty much all the time I see this game. Basically, if I see PlayStation games, this is probably the most frequent game that I see, and it is Gran Turismo. But wait, you're asking yourself, why did you buy a game that you already have and is super common, and you see it all the time for $6? Because that's what it says right there on the label, and here's the reason why. If you open it up, yes, there is a copy of Gran Turismo right here. The manual is actually in really good shape. but in the back there is a copy of Mortal Kombat 4. So that's why I ended up buying this. I paid $6. Basically, I paid it for Mortal Kombat 4. But again, you know, the cases are useful, that kind of thing. So I can always swap out one of my cases. This one's in good shape, minus the fact that someone's replaced the inner case with this white one. But not a big deal. I mean, I can always replace that. That's not a problem. But yeah, so Mortal Kombat 4 for PlayStation 1. Unfortunately, I don't have the you know, the case and manual and all that stuff for Mortal Kombat 4, but still pretty cool nonetheless. The last title, along with my sort of retro remake theme, is this one right here, and I have the first one of this. I played the first one back in the day. I never played the second one, and now I'm glad to have it. And it's Frogger 2, and I paid $3 for this one as well. This disc here has seen better days, so it's a little bit scratched up. Probably shows a lot with the glare of that light there, but it should play. I don't think it doesn't look like beyond playability. It has the same affliction as Blasto, where it looks like Roger's Video has ripped out the manual part of it and just left the inside cover. Really lame that they did that, but it is what it is. Still happy to get Frogger 2. Hopefully I can get a manual for that somewhere and end up completing this one. Those were the extent of my pickups as far as video games at that thrift shop, but I still picked up a whole bunch of systems as well. The first one that I picked up is an N64. This is the only thing that comes with it. Just came with the power supply, which is really cool to get. Because sometimes you see these systems and they don't have the power supply, so it's cool. That's one of the reasons why I picked it up. It's marked for $10, but I only paid $5 for it, so I figured it'd be okay. Unfortunately, it only has the jumper pack in it. It doesn't have the expansion pack. It would have been a really sweet deal if it did have an expansion pack in it. It does not. I did actually plug this one in at the store. It does fire up, so I'm not sure if it totally works, but I think it probably does. You know, these things are kind of built like a tank, so pretty happy though to pick that one up. I'll have to clean it up and sort of compare it against my system. If not, this will likely be my backup system because it seems like it's in probably decent shape. On the same lines, what I'm doing basically is I'm amassing different systems all the time, but I'm planning on just keeping two of each system that I pick up, so that I can swap one out if one dies or something like that. I'll end up being able to do that, so that's why I'm kind of going through a lot of systems right now. Along the same lines, I picked up another system today from that same Goodwill. Again, it was half price, and it's a PS2 bat style with the modem on the back of it. I did plug this one in, so it does power on, which is really cool that it does that. And inside the tray there was a game, nothing too exciting. It's NHL 09, which the last game they played was something awesome, but just a standard hockey game that you can pretty much pick up for cheap anywhere. But really good shape system, not too bad at all. A few scratch marks and things like that, but nothing too crazy. It looks to me like this one has not been tampered with. I can't really see anywhere that they've broken the seals or anything like that, so I know that nobody's sort of been inside here tinkering around, which might be a good sign. The next thing that I picked up was not a system but a controller, and it's this clear PS2 controller. And the thing with this one is it's not branded at all, so I don't think it's actually a Sony one. It does say DualShock 2 right here, so either it used to say that and somebody's like erased it or something like that. I'm not totally certain, but it's such a cool looking controller because it's see-through that I thought I would pick it up, and it seems just as well built as a regular controller. So a see-through PS2 controller. For that one there, it's marked for $250, so I ended up paying $1.25 for it because it's half price electronics. So for $1.25, I couldn't pass this one up. It still keeps coming. I picked up another system while I was there. And this one here is probably the find sort of the day as far as these things go. It is another PS2 system. It's boxed. The box is not in perfect shape. There is some like ripping and stuff in the back, so not a big deal though. This is pretty cool right here for sure. It's all in here, and actually there's a couple of bonuses as well with it. So you get the standard controller. This one here has some sort of oil or something on it, which I'll have to get off of there, but not a big deal. This one here is also has another controller, black PS2 controller, which is also in great shape. First party controller, so that's pretty cool. Comes with the power stuff that you need, so like the power supply right there. And some generic AV kind of cables, and the actual cable required to plug it into your TV right there. And then the system itself, which is in really great shape. Now I don't know a whole lot about this particular one, if the silver is a limited edition or anything like that, but still pretty cool. It's in great shape. It's not scratched up or anything like that. It's just a little bit dirty, but I'll be able to clean that off, no problem. Really looking spot on. Again, this one doesn't look like it's been tampered with at all. Also came with 2 memory cards. So there's a first party 8 meg card right there, and then there's one of these Magic Gate 32 megabyte cards. So it's aftermarket or whatever type of thing, and you kind of use this button on the front here to switch between the different parts of it, because I think it would only recognize 8 meg at a time. So now it's a 32 one though, and you just flip through. So that's pretty cool right there. The bonuses continue though. There is a game in this system, and let me just pop this tray here, and it's Grand Theft Auto Vice City. So that's kind of cool. I think I already have this game, but we'll see about condition. This one's not too bad. If it's the one that's in there, it probably plays. So that's pretty cool all around. And for that system, I got it for a really good deal because it was half price day as well. I got this system it's marked for $25, so I got it for $12.50. So pretty sweet deal all around. Couldn't pass that up. I'm surprised it actually made it through the day, kind of thing, because I went later on in the day, so it's pretty surprising that it actually lasted that long. After I basically cleared out that store, actually I left a couple of things there. There was another PS2 there, but it was missing its front faceplate. Didn't look as good as the fat style one, so I left it. There was also 2 PS1s that were sitting there, like the original gray style ones. I checked their trays, there were no games in them or anything like that, so they weren't really worth picking up, because I already have a ton of those already. I've got like 4 or 5 of those old style ones, which I really need to sell off or something. It's going to be hard to sell. Those don't sell that well. But I went to another Goodwill, and I saw this sitting there yesterday, but I wasn't willing to buy it at the time because it was marked for $18, and I wasn't really interested at that price point. But I decided that I would come back the next day, and hopefully it would be there, because it was half price day, and it was. Super pumped about it. It is a high definition graphics version of a Sega Genesis, which is another system, which I already have one of these, which I picked up the other day. I actually have 2 other ones as well, but this one's probably in the better shape of, at least it's probably in the second best shape, if not the best shape. I'd have to really compare it, but this one will definitely be either my main system or my backup, and it's in really good shape. The power button works totally well, and it has a copy of Tournament Golf in it, which isn't really that desirable game, but again, pretty cool. Also came with a power supply, first party, the RF cable. It's called RF cable, right? Yeah, RF cable. First party as well. Again, I'll probably never use this because I'll be hooking it up in different ways, but still kind of cool to get. And it also came with 2 controllers. When I took it up to the counter, even though it says $18 on it, she charged me for, and I didn't notice it at the time, but she charged me actually $15 for it, but it was half price, so it was $7.50. So killer deal yet again for that. So pretty good day all around, I think, especially all those consoles. If you take a look at it, really, if you were in my position but just starting out retro collecting, you'd have a lot of your collection already started as far as consoles go, because I ended up with an N64, Sega Genesis, and PS2 system, so not too bad at all. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for watching these videos. I really appreciate it. The comments have been really supportive thus far, so I'm really enjoying making them too. I love cataloging my finds here and looking back at my older videos and watching sort of the shelves behind me kind of grow as I find new items and things like that. So really excited that you guys are still, maintaining your interest in these videos. Again, like I said, and I always say, feel free to comment down below. If you haven't subbed to my channel yet, please do. Lots of more interesting stuff to come around, I'm sure of it. And also, feel free to thumbs up this video. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you all later.